I thought that the hardest part of learning how to ride motorcycles was clutch control, shifting gears, and taking turns. But I was wrong. The hardest part about learning how to ride motorcycles is all of the fears that nobody tells you you're going to have. What's going on, everyone? My name is Pedro, and welcome back to Do Some Ish With Me, where I'm documenting my journey as a beginner Harley rider. Today, I want to touch on 5 fears that I had when I first started riding and how I got over them. Fear number 1. I was embarrassed to practice my maneuvers. I was embarrassed to practice everything that involves riding. I didn't want people to see me duck walk my bike. I didn't want people to see me stalling my bike. I didn't want people to see me not being able to complete a U-turn. And the truth is that for a long time I actually practiced in my backyard. But my backyard is only so big, and I ultimately ran out of space. So I had no option but to seek a larger area. Now, my concern was, well, if I ride in a parking lot, people are going to see me doing the same thing that I was not successfully doing in my backyard. But the truth is that nobody really cares. In this case, this parking lot is empty, so it's a little different. When I decided that letting people see me was not going to stop me, was when I had made plans to go to an empty parking lot, or what I thought was going to be an empty parking lot, and it ended up being not so empty when I got there. At that point, I had no choice but to just continue with my plans and practice the maneuvers that I came there to practice. Long story short, everyone in the parking lot was in their car but on their phone. So when I finished my practice session, I concluded, why would I care about what these people think, and why would I let them hold me back from improving my own skills? So the truth of the matter is that I shouldn't. So now, whenever I have plans to come and practice in a parking lot, if the parking lot is too full where I don't have space to practice, I'll find a different parking lot. But if there's some people in the parking lot and I have enough space to practice separately from them, I'm going to do it. I don't care if they watch. I don't care if I almost tip the bike over. I don't care if I stall. I don't care if I can't downshift correctly. Now, things that I practice normally in parking lots as such is actually trying to control the bike at really low speeds, clutch control and friction zone control. I also tried to practice U-turns and 8 figures. Additionally, one of the things that I've gotten into recently was learning how to downshift by rev matching. So I've been doing that, especially in this parking lot, because it gives me the ability to actually speed up enough to go up a couple gears so that I can practice with a couple gears at once. And the last thing that I love to practice, and I practice this the most out of everything, is, and it's actually correlates with one of the fears that I'm going to mention in this video, is uphill stops. So stopping at an uphill and taking off. Fear number 2, stalling. Stalling my bike has probably been one of the fears that has stalked me the most. As of right now, I don't stall often, but I do stall randomly. And just silly moments. And it's like, really? But I think that the fear behind it is that when I was first starting to ride, I felt pressure from the cars behind me. So if I had a car behind me, I would immediately feel like I wouldn't want to slow them down, or that I was too slow for them. And the truth of the matter is that the speed limit is the speed limit, whether it's a car or a motorcycle. So if the cars behind you don't like that, they can either go around or they can suck it up. My worst story about stalling is that I actually stalled 3 times in the same exact spot. So I stalled, turned on my bike, stalled again, turned on my bike, and stalled for a 3rd time. And coincidentally, that was the moment that led me to actually practice uphill stops. Once I got out of it, I realized that nothing happened, nothing changed, not a single person honked. What I came to conclude that day is that yes, it does in fact matter, maybe to your ego. If a car dies on the road, or if a car shuts off on the road, are people gonna honk? Absolutely, if they're that desperate. So what is the difference between a car stalling and a motorcycle stalling? In those moments, it really doesn't matter. What I have committed to doing when I stall is that I decide to just have the clearest mind and deal with the situation. So if I stall, I think of nothing else but the fact that I need to turn the bike on and I need to figure out my clutch and throttle controls and possibly some rear brake if it's downhill or uphill. All right, so I actually do have a car behind me here, and I am coming up to a stop sign up here. So I'm thinking, hey, what if we just stall the bike really quick? You know, we don't know if the guy behind us is gonna get mad or not. So let's put it to the test. This is kind of a big intersection here, but I actually don't know how to purposely stall a bike, but I guess I'll figure it out, right? If I've done it so many times, then I should be able to do it purposely once. So full stop, stall the bike. Okay, well, what do I do? Well, shit. All right, turn it back on. We're still in 1st gear. Now we have more cars coming, and now we get ready to take it off. The guy behind me did not honk. I am completely okay. This time around, my ego is not hurt simply for the fact that I did it on purpose. But the truth is that it can happen at any moment. So keeping a clear head is going to save you from making more mistakes. And that's the commitment that I made to myself. I'm not going to let people behind me pressure me just because they're behind me. You know what I mean? All right, so now that we did that, now I technically got to turn around because I do want to get on the highway so we can discuss our next subject. I built highways to be something scarier than what they actually were. In my opinion, aside from the speed, the highway can arguably be less intimidating for the fact that there may be less things to watch out for when you're on a highway versus a street. As I said, this is arguably my opinion. The reason I say that is because in a normal street, you can have animals, pedestrians, motorcycles, bicycles, other cars, among other things that can happen or spontaneously run across the street or lose control or things of that nature. On a highway, all the cars are going in the same direction. So as long as you do your part in staying visible, so riding on the side of the lane that is best for visibility, keeping up with the speed, you don't intentionally want to slow drivers down. And at the same time, just watch the cars around you and use your mirrors to watch your surroundings. There may be less to do when getting on a highway. So let's put that to the test here. Again, as I said, this is all depending on the traffic. So let's put it to the test. Let's talk about it. See, this guy is being a good Samaritan, letting me through. So here we are on the highway, right? Bike's moving smoothly. I'm up to speed. I know I got a car on my left because I'm simply just watching. All I'm doing is cruising. So I'm looking at the cars around me. If I want to get up to speed, I can get up to more speed. But aside from watching where I'm going, watching the cars behind me on my side view mirrors, all I really need to do here is look forward and go, right? Obviously there could be a deer or something that crosses the highway and things of that nature. So sure, that may be similar to you know, what we encounter on the street with possibly a dog or a squirrel. Everybody's moving in the same direction, so all we really need here is to continue to move forward. Versus the streets, there are streets that people can turn on, there are parking spots that people can pull out of, there are parking lots that people can pull out of, there are driveways that people can pull out of. Every so often on a highway you can encounter an entrance or an exit, and then you handle those accordingly. But the truth is, if I'm going 50 miles an hour on a pretty open street, what's really the difference of going 60, 65 on a street or on a highway that's even more open? Now, honestly, if I have my preference and I have the option to plan my routes, I'll still take back roads all day, you know? Back roads, there's something about back roads that just make you enjoy the ride. Or at least make me enjoy the ride. So if I have the option, I'll take the back roads if I have the time to spare. If not, then it is what it is. If the highway's a must, then the highway's a must. Fear number 4, the impression that everyone around you is watching you. I don't know how I put it in my brain that everyone around me at a stop sign, at a red light, is just watching me. They're watching how smooth I roll my throttle when I come off a stop. They're watching how smooth my takeoff is. They're watching if me coming to a stop is abrupt. They're watching if I'm tipping over because I didn't reach the floor at the right time. The truth is, these people, unless it's someone who actually likes motorcycles or rides motorcycles, these people don't give a shit about what's going on in your motorcycle. The other person is just so eager to get past that stop sign and just go wherever it is that they're going that they don't give a shit how smooth you stopped. They don't care if your bike is gurgling when you took off because your throttle and clutch control were not immaculate. All of these things that I've mentioned so far are things that are really just thoughts that I put into my own head, and I have no idea where they even came from. They're just assumptions for the most part. Fear number 5. When will I finally feel comfortable? This is one that sent me into overthinking multiple times. And I think that the short answer is you won't know the exact moment. In my opinion, until all of the other things that I have spoken about clicked and felt natural, that's when everything else felt comfortable. The ride that made me realize that everything would just felt natural and that I felt comfortable on a motorcycle was actually when I went to pick up this windshield. The location was about half an hour away, and of course I opted to go, you know, in the back roads. I prefer to ride back roads than anything else. Without giving it any thought, I put the GPS and I took the ride. I got there, I purchased the windshield, I installed it, I headed back home, and when I was about 10 minutes away from home, I realized, oh shit, I'm getting off the highway. And I actually went there by taking the same route. So without even thinking about it, I just got onto the bike, headed to the location, picked it up, did what I had to do, came right back without even giving it a second thought. Now, in my opinion, that's exactly how it should feel to get on a motorcycle. The truth of the matter is that it is another vehicle. It's similar to taking your car keys, getting inside your car, and going to the grocery store. I shouldn't feel like I can't go certain places because I'm gonna ride my motorcycle there. So if you're dealing with one of these fears right now, just know that you're not alone. None of us start off confident. We earn our confidence one ride at a time. And if that's the type of journey that you're on, then I'd love to have you along. Consider subscribing to the channel. Every week, I share what I'm learning in hopes to make your journey easier. Until next time, ride safe and let's do some ish.